In 1885, John D. Rockefeller, the richest man in America, gave his son a weekly allowance of just 25 cents. 25 cents. The same boy whose father would later become the world's first billionaire was expected to keep a ledger, account for every penny, and save 10% of it. Most people hearing this story today assume Rockefeller was just being cheap. He wasn't. He was running a system he designed not to teach his children how to spend money, but how to control it. And the principles behind that system are the same ones that built Standard Oil into the largest corporation the world had ever seen. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 3 of those principles, pulled straight from his 1909 autobiography, that you can start using this week. Principle 1. Track every penny, no matter how small. Rockefeller's first job paid him 50 cents a day. He was 16 years old, working as a bookkeeper in Cleveland. The first thing he bought with his earnings was not a meal, not a coat, not a celebration. It was a small red book. He called it Ledger A. And in that book, he recorded every single cent that came in and every single cent that went out. For the rest of his life, even after he was worth $900 million in 1913, which is roughly $30 billion in today's money, he kept tracking. Not because he had to, because the act of tracking is what builds awareness. And awareness is what builds wealth. Most people lose money not because they spend too much, but because they don't know what they're spending. The principle. Principle 2. Pay yourself first before anyone else. Rockefeller saved 10% of his income from his very first paycheck. Not what was left over at the end of the month. The first 10% off the top, before rent, before food, before anything else. He called it the law of the first dime. Whatever came in, the first portion was set aside. He did this when he was earning $25 a month, and he did it when he was earning $25,000 a day. The amount didn't matter. The order did. Most people try to save what's left over. There is never anything left over. The principle: savings is not a result. It's a decision you make before you spend. Principle 3. Reinvest, do not consume. When Rockefeller's first business, a small produce trading firm, turned its first profit, he did not buy himself anything. He took the profit and put it back into the business. He bought more inventory. He hired one more clerk. He expanded one more route. Then he did it again the next quarter, and the next, and the next. He understood something most people never learn. A dollar spent is gone forever, but a dollar invested becomes the seed of every dollar that comes after it. By his early 40s, Rockefeller controlled 90% of the oil refining capacity in the United States. Not because he had access to capital nobody else had, but because he reinvested longer than anyone else was willing to. The principle: in the early years of building anything, every dollar you keep working is worth $10 you spend. 3 principles. Track every penny. Pay yourself first. Reinvest, don't consume. These are not complicated. They're not new. They're not even original to Rockefeller. He learned them from his mother, who learned them from her father. What made Rockefeller different is that he ran them as a daily system for 60 years without stopping. Most people read principles like this, nod, and forget them by the end of the week. The full 30-day system, including the exact ledger format he used, the saving structure he gave his children, and the reinvestment rules that turned a 16-year-old bookkeeper into the wealthiest man in history, is in my book, How to Build Wealth in 30 Days: The Lost Money Principles of John D. Rockefeller. Link is in the description. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. I publish one of these every week, drawing from the people who actually did it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.